wasn't a big fan of all the impeachment charades around Donald Trump. I dislike Donald Trump with every fiber of my being. Donald Trump was absolutely terrible. He wasn't the worst president we had. George W. Bush was. But I digress. But as much as I dislike Donald Trump, I was never big on the impeachment charades. A, because I knew a lot of it was political theater. They didn't even look into a lot of the real financial crimes he was doing. Why? Because they were complicit with it. They being Republicans and Democrats. And B, because I was like, well, wait, Mike Pence? Donald Trump is a buffoon. Mike Pence is way more frickin' dangerous.
He's still doing that Mike Pence bullshit. You talking about the first impeachment or the second impeachment? Because the second impeachment, to impeach a president that's not even in office anymore, that's almost like, that's like firing a person that's already quit. Well, I quit. I'm out of here. Well, then why don't you leave? But I just told you I quit and stormed out. You can't act like you just told me to. I'm leaving. I'm the one that decided to go. Well, then get the hell out of here. You son of a bitch. So, this is nothing. California's recall election is absolutely nothing like the impeachment of Donald Trump. But let's keep on defending Donald Trump, right? Ron Placone. I'm going to tell you something about Ron Placone. I tried to get an interview from Ron Placone, but apparently, this was forced to vote when they was all, doing big time, a bunch of big timers in, right? But he said, he got nervous and said just emailed, and I emailed the questions, and they fucking ignored me like a fucking politician, right? But later on, he would post something on his Twitter saying that he doesn't believe in anything. He's got no beliefs except for in a general strike. That's the only fucking thing he believes in. So only one fucking belief, a general strike. So let's just shut the whole thing down, right? Let's just shut it all down and do what? And do what, Ron Placone? Ron Placone can't even force a vote on a wide-open recall election. Hey, Ron Placone, you could easily force the vote on a wide-open recall election. Vote no or yes. Actually, it doesn't matter which way you vote on that. But to leave the second part is so stupid it cuts the power of your vote in half. You don't understand democracy. You don't know what you're supposed to do as a citizen in this democratic republic. If you can't even force the vote on a wide-open recall election, I'm supposed to trust you to lead a general strike? Shut it all down for what? Shut it all down for what? Are we going to get ourselves a constitution? Are we going to get ourselves an election? Are we going to get ourselves a democracy that has 3 branches of government and a Bill of Rights? Huh? Ron Placone? Constitution, elections, 3 branches of government, Bill of Rights, democracy, and also initiative, referendum, and recall. He's going to sit there and say that the entire recall process is just terrible and dumb. Hey, Ron Placone, 2 million Californians out of 40 million signed the goddamn ballot. 2 million out of 40 million. Well, it's not a dumb thing because the power of recall, just like initiative and referendum, is a very powerful tool for democracy. You want rule by the people, you want rule by the rich, rule by the few, rule by one. You want a monarchy, you want a plutocracy, you want an oligarchy. I want a democracy. I want a democracy. So Ron Placone, he says a lot of dumb things. I'm actually, let's give Ron Placone a minute or two to make his case, right? He's going to make a case. He's going to vote in this election, which he is just disgusted about because he hates electoral politics. He's never tried electoral politics. He doesn't understand democracy, but he's going to say how much he hates electoral politics, and then he's going to hold his nose and vote no, essentially voting for Gavin Newsom, and then he's going to leave the second question blank. I think I've been listening to it for about 10 minutes. He hasn't got to the point yet. So my guess is he's going to leave the second blank, right? Vote no on recall, and he doesn't know any of the other ones. Hey, that's another thing. Ron Placone, did you try to research? There's 46 candidates. Did you try to research any of them? Were you just like, that's too many? Can somebody else read something and tell me something about this? I cannot Google these people's names or see if they have a presence myself. I can't do that. I can't make up my own goddamn mind. Jimmy, hey Jimmy, what do I think about this? Hey Jimmy. So let's watch some Ron Placone. All right, Ron Placone.
Let's get over to the recall, shall we? There's a recall election happening here in California. It is to recall Governor Gavin Newsom, who I'm not a fan of. But we're going to unpack this from every angle, and I'm going to tell you guys what I personally am going to do, how I'm going to vote. So, let me start by just talking about the system in general. As many of you know about me, I have no respect, none, for our electoral system. I think it is disgusting beyond comprehension. It is corrupt to the gills. It is up for sale to the highest bidder. Wall Street owns both major parties. Both major parties are crooked to the gills. They do everything they can to make sure that nobody progressive gets in. They do everything they can to stop that from happening. They have their consultants and their lobbyists who are also corrupt to the gills, and that's the game you got to play. As a result, it attracts the most mediocre, at best, of person. Most people who run for office are blank suits who just come from money and power, so it's just what they know. They have no ideas, or they have bad ideas, or if they have no ideas, they have people feeding them bad ideas that they don't have the acumen to not go along with. That's over 90% of the people in office.
I know, I said I was going to let it run. I'm going to let it run some more, but I got some good points I got to make. And so, Ron Placone, the fact that he cannot force the vote, he can't force the vote on a wide open, recall election like this vote, yes or no. You could be a good Democrat, vote no on the recall, and then still vote on the second question. You could also be a terrible Democrat, be a great progressive, and say, fuck Gavin Newsom, vote yes on the recall. Fuck, throw that goddamn piece of shit governor to the curb. He promised us universal health care. He's got 4 days to put universal health care on the floor. Just vote on the damn thing. Just vote on the goddamn bill. I guarantee you, Gavin Newsom is too scared to do it, and Jimmy Dore is too scared to push for it. Getting universal health care, we could actually win this one. We can actually win this. We gotta, do a bunch of fights where we don't fucking win anything? Is that what we're doomed to do forever and ever? Huh? So the fact that Ron Placone and Jimmy Dore and, et al., anybody on force the vote, we got a force the vote opportunity right now. We got a force the vote opportunity. But, hey, Gavin Newsom, get us universal health care, or we're going to recall you, and then we're going to vote, for somebody that's in favor of universal health care, like John Robert Drake, like Dan Kapelovitz, like not Angel Lynn, but the other two, David Moore and Michael Loebs. Michael Loebs, David Moore, Dan Kapelovitz, and John Robert Drake. So David Moore is my main guy, and then there's 3 other people. So you got 4 people that are promising us universal health care. I believe that they believe it. They're not a Gavin Newsom going to talk a bunch of shit and not get it to us. So they believe it. So therefore, if Gavin Newsom in the next 4 days does not put universal health care on the floor vote, which he ain't going to do it, he's, corporatized, right? He's for the elite. He has those rich parties in the wine cave or what have you. So he's not going to get us universal health care. We're not going to get a floor vote. Therefore, we vote for the candidates that are in favor of universal health care. There's 46 other candidates. If Ron Placone would have just took his, goddamn second to do a little bit of research, he would have seen. And then there's also, how can he not know? Some of these are like, well-known names in California. So I just feel like the fact that he cannot force the vote on California's recall election, hey, Ron Placone, Jimmy Dore, this is a nice slow pitch. This is an underhanded pitch. This is a softball pitch right down the middle of the pipe. Can you hit it? Can you knock this one out of the park? Can you just, bunt? Can you just do a little bunt? That softball is on a tee. That softball is on a tee stand. Can't you hit a softball? They're bigger than, and then on a tee? Come on, Ron Placone. This is a force to vote, moment, opportunity. It's easy. Hell, I'm going to do force. We're going to get universal health care. Fuck you, Gavin Newsom. Now I'm going to vote for, David Moore. David Moore, because he's a Trotskyist. The Trotsky, I'm voting for the Trotsky. Why? Because I guarantee you we'll get universal health care with the Trotsky. We ain't going to get it with Gavin Newsom. Why the fuck am I going to, it is a vote between Gavin Newsom and Larry Elder, kind of in some respects. But it's actually more important. It's bigger than that. It's the election for governor. It's the election for governor. If you don't want this guy, who do you want? And Ron Placone, I haven't got to that part yet, so it's 29 minutes long. He's going on long-winded. But this is, a basketball hoop that's 5 feet tall. This is a basketball that's basketball hoop that's 5 feet tall. All you got to do is just dunk it, it's right there. You could slam dunk the shit out of it. But is Ron Placone and Jimmy Dore and the vote bunch, are they slam dunking the shit out of this easy, obvious, force the vote opportunity. This softball is on a tee stand. This softball is on a tee stand, and I'm supposed to pretend that what? His general strike, Ron Placone's general strike is going to get us somewhere?
Probably more like 98, 99. Occasionally you see some people do some okay things in their district, sure. Occasionally you see some diamonds in the rough. But most of the time, if you go into office and you have good intentions, and you actually stand for something, and you have principles, they put you under their thumb as best they can. And if they're having trouble doing that, they freaking get rid of you. That's what happens most of the time. Pretty much all the time. From Mike Gravel to Dennis Kucinich, to Bernie Sanders. And now we're seeing that with the squad too. So that's usually what happens in our politics. It's a system disgusting to the gills. And it cannot be saved. It cannot be redeemed. And all politicians are part of it.
So there's a nice Christmas message of hope for America. All politicians and the whole election system, the whole goddamn thing stinks. The whole, kit and caboodle, the whole lock, stock, and barrel, just throw the damn hole. So Ron Placone is, not really, he didn't get into a car without an engine and say, how come this car doesn't move? That wouldn't make any sense. If Ron Placone got into a car and it had no gasoline in it and no starter and no engine, and he said, how come this damn thing doesn't move, and then just, stomped on out? In order for a democracy to work, you got to be a good citizen. So Ron Placone, he's going to, later on, he doesn't know any of the 46 candidates. He doesn't know them. So he's like, most of the people don't even know who they are, and the people that do know probably don't even know, and the ones that don't even know probably do know, and he never researched the 46 candidates. Ron Placone is not a good citizen in this democracy. Ron Placone has never ran for office. Ron Placone doesn't write any letters to his congressman. He doesn't champion progressives in every single election. 2 million people was able to get this recall on the ballot. 2 million people. I mean, my God. You got initiative, and you got referendums, you got recall. So Ron Placone was just complaining that this whole system is fucked and there's nothing redeemable about it. Well, I'm going to give you a couple ideas that Ron Placone has never tried. He's never even tried to do this. Hey, Ron Placone, why don't you go out and get 2 million signatures to get instant runoff voting? Get instant runoff voting. There is a lot of problems with our democracy. You can fix it with instant runoff voting. That's a fair way people rank. That gives more power to the people. It's a more fair election. It's good for civics. God damn, instant runoff voting, that's where it's at. And you can also, if you don't run for office and you're not champion progressives in the elections, what the fuck are you doing? You could also run your own friends and family and, your neighbors. Recruit awesome, righteous motherfuckers. You find awesome, righteous motherfuckers like, Nina Turner, did you send $1? Did you, champion Nina Turner? What's so goddamn ever? So you find the progressives in every single election, because any and every one of these elections can be changed, so we can change it even if it's the incumbent's always going to win or whatever. But we don't want to lose the gains we've already made. Jesus Christ, to be on the side of apathy and complacency, to be on the side of, oh, I'm not going to vote because you're so principled and smart. We only got so many tools in the toolbox. We got constitutional revolutions. We got electoral revolutions. We got, coup d'etats, and then we got soft revolutions, Howard Zinn, Black Panther, kind of Amish revolutions where we just form our own institutions off to the side. We create our own institutions where the state and the rich and the powerful and they don't have any, stake into it whatsoever. And then after 10 to 20 years, they might say, well, we're going to do, stop doing this thing. Well, it doesn't fucking matter. We've already built our goddamn world. And it didn't matter. You guys were, irrelevant the whole time. So there's some things that Ron Placone could do. Build something outside the system, right? Building something outside the system, revolutionary as fuck. But first, I want him to get, before you get into a car, put an engine into it, right? Put a starter into it. Put some gasoline into that car. Be a good citizen. Research. Try to be a citizen. Look at these candidates. Write your congressman. Call them up and yell at them, what the fuck ever, right? There's supposed to be our representatives, so, do your due diligence. You're in California, so you might run into one of these motherfuckers, right? Get your camera phone out and ask a question or two, and then go home and upload it and say, look, I asked Larry Elder about whatever, immigration or what have you. That's fucking amazing. That would be incredible. So there's some other things you can do. Cover the race. Talk to the 46 candidates. You got a platform, you got a show, right? You can't get one of the 46 candidates to come on your show and you can't do an interview? So don't knock it before you try it, right? You got to try green eggs and ham, and then when you try it, it's fucking delicious. You're going to get in the car without actually having any gas or an engine or a starter. You got to participate in this democracy. Democracies are going to be they're going to be worse than dictatorships when you have Ron Placones who don't participate, who don't pay attention, who don't research, who don't run for office, who don't champion progressives in any and every single election, who doesn't realize the stakes. Right? It's like a person, like if it all fucking goes to shit, he'll be fine. I mean, where's the sense of urgency? Where's the sense of urgency? So there's several other options that Ron Placone can do. There's several other options. All right, Ron, what else you got? I'll try to listen to you.
All of them are part of it. The ones that have good intentions, they either fall in line or they get out. You either fall in line or you get out. That's what happens. So, that's how I feel about our electoral system. I despise it. I really do. And I think we'd be better off with a people's legislature. I think we'd be better off getting rid of the Senate, getting rid of the House, and just having a people's legislature. And a people's legislature would have a lot of problems. And there would be a lot of corruption that would happen. And there would need to be a lot of policies to protect people so that it doesn't just become a corporate giveaway. But there is no way it would be worse than what we have now. No frickin' way. No way would it be worse. Because instead of a Wall Street puppet and Wall Street and then regular people, you just cut out the middleman and it's just Wall Street v. working people. That's better than Wall Street and a middleman puppet who's really just doing what Wall Street wants them to. And then the people. Why not just have Wall Street and the people?
Okay, Ron, you're getting too far up your own asshole, I think, with all your own stupid-ass distinctions. I'll give Ron Placone 1 point. Ron Placone once said that if you were to turn everything off, all the politics and electoral college, everything that's going on right now, just turn the government, turn it all off, and then just start brand new, we would do a lot better. I think that's true. If we don't have, anything and we have to get together and say, okay, well, what do we want? Well, now we're kind of forced to construct a brand new world, whether you wanted to or not, So I'll give Ron Placone, that point. And then we'll listen to some more, and then we'll conclude the exciting conclusion of...
So anyway, that's how I feel about our electoral system. Now, you might ask yourself, gee, is there things we could do that would somehow make our system even worse? Our system that has gerrymandering and the electoral college and superdelegates and unlimited money in politics and corporate influence, and Wall Street owns both parties, and they do everything they can to stifle progressive candidates. They do everything they can to stifle any type of third party. They do everything they can to keep the duopoly going, and it's really just a big gravy train, and we have two right-wing parties. One is a neo-fascist party, the other is a neoliberal party. Is there anything we could possibly do that would make that even worse? Yes, the concept of a recall in California makes our joke of a system even frickin' worse because of how ridiculous it is. What happens? Well, okay, so there's enough support for a recall. Enough people sign the paper and we get a recall. But here's what happens. It's not an actual election. What happens is you get a thing where you vote, should the governor be recalled, yes or no? And you select yes or no. And then the second question is, who replaces the governor? And then you pick a candidate. But here's the thing. A bunch of people just randomly get on this ballot. Just a bunch of people randomly get on this ballot. Half the people, no one knows who the hell they are. More than half, probably 90%. No one even knows who they are. There's no campaigning. There's no real election season. It's just whoever has the money gets the media attention, and becomes governor. It's basically...
So is that Ron Placone saying we need an election season? Because I like the idea that you have 2 months to get your goddamn campaign up and going instead of bitching fucking the entire goddamn year. No, you got 2 months, find out what's going on, and then we'll go back to our fucking lives instead of being at each other's throat for the presidents, right? Everybody, basically, if you're running for president, you're running 4 years out and ahead, right? You're running 10 years ahead of folks. You're not running, you know, just 1 or 2 months before the thing. Ron Placone, it almost sounds like you're against the, you know, process of a recall. 2 million motherfuckers. If 2 million people sign a petition, should they not be heard? 2 million people wanted the recall, and if Gavin Newsom is doing such a good job, he's saying that this isn't really an election. Of course an election. This is like a governor's election, basically. This is basically a governor's election before the governor's election. You're going to have the real governor's election next year, but for 1 year, you're going to have another governor if he gets recalled. And who's going to be the other governor? And I don't want it to be Larry Elder, so whether you vote yes or no, I would vote yes. But whether you vote yes or no, you got to vote for the second question. You got to vote for the second question. You're cutting your power in half, and let's just flip a coin. Flip a coin, and if Gavin Newsom is recalled, okay, well then Ron Placone, who is your second choice? We'll put that person in power. I don't even know who Ron Placone has picked yet. So whoever he picked, let's just put him in power. And when he tells me that he left that question blank, he fucked it up. He fucked it up. Just like Hinkle, just like the progressive voice, they're fucking this up. They're either not fucking voting or they're voting just no, and they're going to leave the second. You got Kapilovich, you got a Green Party guy, you got a lot of people that's for universal health care. David Moore is a Trotskyist, so that's like a socialist, you know, on fucking crack or some shit. He's not a Maoist, he's not a Stalinist, but he's a Trotskyist. That motherfucker knows a thing or two about, you know, fucking socialism and shit. So you got David Moore, you got Michael Loebs, you got John Robert Drake, and you got Dan Kapilovich. All of them are in favor of universal health care. California, you want somebody that'll sign the bill for universal health care? You want somebody that'll give you a speech for universal health care? You got 4 guys that'll do it. You got 4 guys that'll do it. So the fact that he's against recall, that's a powerful tool for democracy. You don't like a goddamn politician? The whole point of a recall is you could throw the bums out. So this motherfucker is saying he don't like the power of a recall. He's opposed to the power of recall. That's a tool for democracy. That's a tool for the people. Okay? The damn Republicans, they're around. They got the, you know, tool, and they was able to get 2 million fucking people. But what's Ron Placone saying? He wants a general strike. What if it's 2 million people? We're supposed to ignore 2 million people, right? What the fuck is his general strike all about? So 2 million people want to recall. You got to listen. You got to pay attention to that. That's a lot of disgruntled people. And it's a powerful tool for democracy. You get a shitty Republican in there, get 2 million signatures, and then you'll have an election to recall that shitty Republican. Hell, why don't you start the damn recall process for Larry Elder? You hate it so damn much. It's a powerful tool for democracy. Again, Ron Placone don't know what the fuck he's talking about. I don't think he has any beliefs. I don't think he has any ideology. I think he's just been kind of floating by on his white fucking privilege, right? He's not talking with any urgency like this shit's got to change. He'll be fine, right? He's making some money, talking jokes and whatever. Just talking jokes, right? So, let's see. He wants to say that this isn't a real election. You're goddamn right it's a real election. After Larry Elder gets in there, I guess Ron Placone will have to acknowledge, well, shit, I guess that was a real election, huh? I guess kicking out the governor and replacing it with a different person, I guess that kind of makes it a real election, huh? This ain't a real election. Then he talks about, well, vote this and vote that and vote this. That sounds like an election to me. So, vote yes, vote no. It doesn't matter. Don't leave the fucking second question goddamn blank. Don't leave the second question blank. So it does bother me. He was talking about eating some snacks or something. He was like, does that bother you? It only bothers me because it seems like if it fucking goes your way, if Larry Elder gets in there, you'll be fine, right? You'll coast on through. It's not like your life is going to fucking change if you get a bunch of Republicans controlling California. But there's a lot of people who are dependent upon the progressive agenda of the Democrats in California. So this should be a wake-up call. This should be a wake-up call regardless. If Larry Elder becomes governor, that should be the biggest fucking wake-up call ever. But the fact that he got so close. But if he becomes governor, that just shows you that these Democrats who do not have a progressive agenda, we voted for you and you didn't change shit, nothing got better, nothing, you know, you didn't change shit. So we can't even say that you tried, it got better, it didn't get better. You didn't try to do shit. You went in there and just kind of fucking stuck your head in the sand, stuck your thumb up your butt, and just hope that nobody was paying attention to you, and hope that just everything, you know, just took care of itself or some shit. I like Colorado. Colorado politics is awesome, so that whole turn off, turn on thing is fine for America. I don't feel like there's American politics. We do need to redo it, rethink it, but not for Colorado. Colorado's got a shit ton of things. Like I said, initiative, referendum. I like recall. The power of recall is a powerful tool for democracy. So I don't think Ron Placone actually truly believes in democracy. He just, you know, the whole thing about the recalls, the Republicans was able to do it, and it's like, dang it! Now I gotta go vote and do stuff. Man, these stupid Republicans, it's just a vote. It's not that big a fucking, it's not the hardest thing in the world to do, right? I don't know if you ever done roofing in the summer. He's, you know, light skinned, so I'm sure if he did some roofing out in the goddamn sun, that'd be some tough shit. So overall, my concluding remarks, and we'll give him the last word, my concluding remarks is, you know, it does bother me that people are privileged enough that they could say, well, I'll vote this way or not vote this way. He's never tried democracy. He's never ran for office. He's never championed a progressive on every single election. And then he's never ran his friends. He's never tried to get, you know, awesome, righteous folks in there. He's never called his politicians up and yelled at them. He's never tried to organize something outside the system. He just says general strike, goes around making fucking jokes, makes some money, and, you know, I don't know if he's living on the edge or if he's doing okay. But I feel like Jesus Christ being on the cusp, and the force to vote thing is just so easy. A straight, slow pitch, a nice underhanded softball pitch right down the middle, and it lands right on the tee. A nice underhanded softball pitch that lands on the tee. A basketball hoop that's about 5 feet tall. Jesus Christ, how about this? Here's a football, and the whole field is empty. Try to make a touchdown. You have nobody in front of you. Force the vote. It's already there. It's already there. All you got to do is pick up the ball and go in, run for a touchdown. But well, I don't want to listen to that guy. Some random asshole told me a good idea, and only my brain can think of the good ideas. So yeah, you know. He's a Californian. I'm supposed to listen to these Californian fucking goddamn liberal motherfuckers. I'm not going to listen to any of these California fucking heads ever again. They don't know jack shit about fucking politics.
Is just thrown up for grabs to the highest bidder, and you can just buy your way into being governor. Literally. Literally. So it's a parody of a parody. Our election system is a parody. A recall makes a parody out of a parody. That's how fucking stupid it is. So that's what a recall election is in California. It's how Arnold Schwarzenegger became governor. And depending on the results of this, either Larry Elder or Caitlyn Jenner will become governor of California if the recall goes forward. So
not Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner has no chance whatsoever.
My short explanation
Caitlyn's pulling at 2%.
I will be voting no on the recall because of how ridiculous a recall is. And because as much as I dislike Gavin Newsom, I'd rather beat him with someone better in 2022 than have this ridiculous bullshit recall process go forward and then either Larry Elder or Caitlyn Jenner becomes governor.
Caitlyn Jenner's not going to become
governor. I'd rather
governor.
just have an actual election. Well, the election will happen no matter what, but I'd rather just have an actual election.
You got Greens and Democrats to vote for it. This is an election. This is an election, Ron.
That's what I'd rather have.
Okay.
Than replace him with somebody worse.
I thought you wanted a general strike.
Larry Elder.
What happened to that general strike?
So, but there's more reasons why I'm voting no on this. So the short answer is, a recall is a waste of time, it is a waste of money, it is a waste of resources.
Because you like Gavin Newsom's progressive agenda?
It's just a scam of a scam. I'm usually very weary about supporting any such thing, and this one, as much as I dislike Gavin Newsom, I can't support this recall. I'm going to vote no on the recall. And it's similar to other things where it's like, even though you dislike the candidate, you can't get behind. It's kind of like, this isn't maybe a perfect comparison, but it's sort of like why I wasn't a big fan of all the impeachment charades around Donald Trump.
Sure.
I dislike Donald Trump with every fiber of my being. Donald Trump was absolutely terrible. He wasn't the worst president we had. George W. Bush was. But I digress. But as much as I dislike Donald Trump, I was never big on the impeachment charades. A, because I knew a lot of it was political theater. They didn't even look into a lot of the real financial crimes he was doing. Why? Because they were complicit